Today we are going to move on to the next section. I speak well. This section is about making effective presentations. Consider the following words. Take a look at the words given in the box. Discuss with your partner and select 5 elements which you think are the most important in a presentation. Company's reputation, planning, body language, use of jargon. A jargon is a technical term. Names of listeners, preparation, eye contact, special effects, proper accent, choice of vocabulary, pronunciation. These are the words given in the box. Now, which are the 5 elements that are most important in making a presentation? They are planning, preparation, body language, maintaining eye contact with the listeners, choice of vocabulary. These are most important in a presentation. This is activity 2. Imagine that you are assigned the task of making a presentation before a group of foreigners who have come to visit your college as a part of the cultural exchange program. What would be your first slide? What are the points you would include in it? We have given you certain clues. The title of the presentation, the name of your college, name of the presenter and class. So what is the title of the presentation here? You're introducing your college as a part of the cultural exchange program. Maybe the title is Welcome to the Central Polytechnic Vattiyoorkavu. Welcome to the name of the college. Then you have to write the name of the presenter and class. Here is an example of a title slide. There should be a title and then you should write presented by your name and your designation. Next activity. What details about your college will you highlight through your presentation? Prepare 5 to 6 slides. Again, they've given you some clues. Different departments. You have to write about the different departments, various clubs, special achievements, results, etc. Don't forget to include a note of thanks to your audience. Now you can try to make a few slides on your own. You can try to make a presentation about your college. So this is the title slide. Should have the title, the name of the presenter and the class. The second slide is about the history of the college, our history. When was the college established? Established in the year 1958, the Central Polytechnic is a universally recognized college located at Vattiyoorkavu, Trivandrum. Which courses does the college offer? It offers 3-year diploma courses in such and such subjects. Where is the college situated? It is situated in a place of great historical signification, a place that contributed greatly to the cause of the nation during our struggle for freedom. the college has successfully contributed to the process of nation building. So that's about the history of the college. The next slide is about the facilities provided by the college. You can write about the number of classrooms, number of laboratories, libraries, other facilities like playground, canteen, etc. Just go through this slide. Pause the video and go through this slide. Next slide is about clubs and extracurricular organizations. So let's say there is a debate club, a film club, a drama club, robotics club, save endangered species clubs. And then you have to write 1 or 2 sentences about each of these. Do not write in paragraphs, do not write long sentences. Just 1 or 2 points are enough. For example, there are a wide variety of clubs and activities available for students to join. You may want to join one of these. 1. Speech and debate club. For those who are good at those who want to get good at public speaking, reporting on current events and making effective arguments. Film club for people who love to watch movies and for those who want to become a director or to be a part of the film industry one day. Drama club for all of you theatre enthusiasts. If you want the opportunity to act and practice your interpretation skills within a group, this is the club to join. Robotics club for those of you interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence, this is the club to join. Save Endangered Species Club or any kind of environmental club. Those who want to help animals through your volunteer work can consider joining this activity. The next slide is about students' achievements or results. So you can write about academic achievements, achievements in the field of sports, achievements in the field of arts, etc. So, academic achievements: registered 100% pass rate for 5 years in a row, 60% achieved A+ in all the subjects, several medals in annual inter-college speech and debate competitions, first prize for inter-college science exhibition. Then achievements in the field of sports. You can say first prize for swimming competition, runner-up for football championship, something like that. Next, our achievements in the field of arts. Again, you can say you got prizes for such and such categories in the State Arts Festival. The final slide says, thank you for your attention, or thank you for your kind attention. Examine your slides with the following checklist. First one, I have used simple and clear language in my slides. Have you used simple and clear language in your slides? Second one, are my sentences very long? The sentences in a PowerPoint presentation should not be long. You should use short, concise sentences in a PowerPoint presentation. ആവശ്യമുള്ളത് മാത്രം എഴുതിയാൽ മതി. Have I used too many technical terms in my slides? You should not use too many technical terms or jargons, J-A-R-G-O-N, jargons in your slides. അപ്പോൾ ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്കത് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So you should not use too many technical terms. Are my fonts clearly visible and readable? This is highly important. Because the viewers are watching from a distance. Your fonts should be clearly visible. You should use big fonts that are clearly visible and readable. I have included a lot of information in a slide. You should never do that. Do not put a lot of information in a single slide. Divide it into different slides. എല്ലാം കൂടെ ഒരു സ്ലൈഡിൽ ഇടരുത്. Then it becomes too difficult to read. I have included only appropriate pictures. You should use only appropriate pictures. ആവശ്യമുള്ള pictures മാത്രം യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. My bars and graphs can be easily understood. You should not use complicated bars and graphs. The audience cannot understand them. Your graphs and bars should be easily understood. They should be simple. Activity 3. Now examine the following slides. Which of them will be more effective in a presentation? Why? First one is a paragraph about science and technology. Which one is more appropriate? The second slide is more appropriate. It is easier to read. It contains only the important points. And it will immediately attract the attention of the audience. The first slide is very difficult to read. There's a lot of information. And it cannot attract the attention of the audience. Second one is about nanomission. There are only 2 or 3 points. So which slide is easier to read? Which slide is more effective? The first slide is more effective. What is wrong with the second slide? The font is not readable. The first sentence is not at all readable. The font is too small. This is why you should select the appropriate fonts. പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ വായിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നതായിരിക്കണം. In the third one, there are a few pictures and the slide is about science and technology. Which one contains the most appropriate pictures? Look at the first slide. There's a picture of fruits and vegetables. There's a picture of a calculator. There's a picture of some or some barbells. These things have nothing to do with science and technology. So which is the better slide? The second one is the better slide. You should use appropriate pictures. ടോപ്പിക്കിന് അനുയോജ്യമായ പിക്ചേഴ്സ് മാത്രം യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. The next slide is about obesity. Which one is the better slide? The second one is the better slide. Because the graph in the first slide is really hard to understand. The graphs and charts that you use in a presentation should be easily understandable. The introduction is the most important part of your presentation. This is the first impression that you give to the viewer. That is why you should concentrate on getting your introduction right. When you do your presentation, you should be as spontaneous as possible. കഴിയുന്ന അത്രയും സ്വാഭാവികമായിരിക്കണം. Spontaneous means unforced, natural, relaxed, etc. You should use the introduction to welcome your audience, to introduce your subject, outline the structure of your presentation, and to give instructions about questions. Activity 4. Given below are certain language functions which are used for making introductions. Write down the possible expressions used by selecting from the box. So, do feel free to interrupt me. The purpose of my presentation is: good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. I am going to talk about. I'll answer questions after the presentation. So, when you're welcoming your audience, what can you say? എന്താണ് പറയാൻ പറ്റുക? You can say good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or you can just say hello, everyone. When you're introducing a subject, you can say I'm going to talk about, or you can say the purpose of my presentation is so and so. When you're giving instructions about questions, you can say, do feel free to interrupt me. That means you can ask questions at any point. You can interrupt the speaker and ask questions at any point during the presentation. എപ്പോൾ വേണമെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാം. On the other hand, you can also say, I will answer questions after the presentation, which means the audience can ask questions only after the presentation. Presentation കഴിഞ്ഞേ ചോദിക്കാവൂ. Firstly, you have to welcome the audience. You can say good evening or good morning or good afternoon, everybody, or you can say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If it is an informal gathering, you can say hello guys, hi everybody, hi, how is it going, etc. If it is a highly informal gathering, you can say hi, how it's going, how is it going. Next, you have to introduce yourself. For example, let me introduce myself. I am so and so. Or you can say, for those of you who don't know me, my name is so and so. If you are introducing yourself as a teacher, you can say, as you probably know, I am your new teacher. My name is so and so. If you are the director, I am the director here at so and so. I am here in my function as sales manager. So that is how you introduce yourself. Then you can state your topic. As you can see on the screen, if you're using a PowerPoint presentation, you can say, as you can see on the screen, our topic today is so and so. Today's topic is, what I'd like to present to you today is, the subject of my presentation is. So just state your topic. Next, explain why your topic is relevant. Why is it useful to the audience? My talk is particularly relevant to those of who, for example, if your talk is about robots, then you can say, my talk is particularly relevant to those who are interested in science and technology. Something like that. Today's topic is of particular interest to those of who, etc. The topic is very important for you because by the end of this talk, you will be familiar with, etc. Now, how do you begin a presentation? There are various ways to start a presentation. You can start with an interesting fact. For example, according to an article I read recently, central banks are now buying euros instead of dollars. That's a fact that you found in an article. Another example. Did you know that fast food consumption has increased 600% in Europe since 2002? Again, a fact that you read somewhere. So you can always start with an interesting fact in order to capture the attention of the audience. Second method is to give them a problem to think about. Suppose you wanted to set up a new call center. You want to begin a new call center. How would you go about it? Another example. Imagine you are to reorganize the sales department. What would be your first step? How would you go about it? So, you're giving them a problem to think about. The next method is to ask a rhetorical question. What is a rhetorical question? A question that is asked for dramatic effect. A question that is asked to make a point, not to get an answer. ആൻസർ കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടിയല്ല, ഒരു ഡ്രമാറ്റിക് ഇഫക്റ്റിന് വേണ്ടി ചോദിക്കുന്ന ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ് rhetorical question. For example, is market research important for brand development? Do we really need quality assurance? So another example of a rhetorical question. Can birds fly? The answer is obviously yes. You don't need an answer. You're asking that for a dramatic effect. You can tell them a story or an anecdote. What is an anecdote? An anecdote is an interesting story. An amusing, an interesting story about a particular person or an incident. രസകരമായ ഒരു കഥ. You can say, I remember when I attended a meeting in Italy, something happened. Or you can say, at a conference in Madrid, I was asked the following question. Then you can tell them the story. That is another way to begin a presentation. So you can start with a fact, you can start with a problem, you can start with a rhetorical question, or you can just tell them a story. These are the various ways to start a presentation. So then we are talking about the structure of the presentation. You can say, I have divided my presentation into 3 main parts. Then these are the parts, X, Y, and Z. Or you can say, in my presentation, I'll focus on 3 major issues. Then you say, these are the issues. Or you can say, first I'll be looking at such and such issue. Secondly, I'll be looking at. Thirdly, I'll be looking at, etc. Or you can say, I'll begin the presentation by talking about such and such issue. Or I'll start off by explaining something. Then you can say, then next after that I'll go on to, etc. Finally, I'll offer some solutions. So you can use any of these methods. Now about questions. You can either say, there will be time for questions after my presentation. You can ask questions after my presentation. Allengil, you can say, if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any time. That means you can ask questions during the presentation. Presentation ഇടയിൽ വേണമെങ്കിൽ question ചോദിക്കാം. Or you can say, feel free to ask questions at any time during my talk. You are allowed to ask questions at any time during the presentation. So here I am going to do a PowerPoint presentation on alcohol and drug abuse. So look at the first slide, the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. Presented by Sanjay P, first year economics, XYZ College. Good morning, my dear friends. Let me introduce myself. I am Sanjay P, student of first year economics in XYZ College. As you can see on the screen, today's topic is the dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. Today's topic is of particular interest to young people as drug and alcohol abuse is becoming more and more common among people below 25. In my presentation, I will focus on two major issues: the effects of drug and alcohol abuse and the impact of drug and alcohol abuse among teenagers. I'll answer your questions after the presentation. So here is the first slide. What is drug and alcohol abuse? Abusers are heavy drinkers and drug users who continue to use drug and alcohol. Despite its bad effects, they are not always addicts. Repeated abuse may lead to addiction, etc. And what are the symptoms? You can pause the video and go through the slide. These are the symptoms of alcohol abuse. Next, what are the effects of drug and alcohol abuse? There are short-term effects and long-term effects. Pause the video and just go through them. So, liver disease, pancreatitis, ulcers, thiamine deficiency, violence, self-harm, accidents, brain damage, etc. Then, alcohol and drug abuse among teenagers. Teenagers are at a greater risk of developing an addiction. What are the common reasons for developing this addiction? Can be curiosity, peer pressure, stress, emotional struggles, a desire to escape, etc. Then what are the signs of teenage drug abuse? Again, just go through the slide. Next, what are the risks involved? Teenagers are not mature enough to handle drugs and alcohol. They have an increased risk of becoming victims of rape, robbery, or assault. Assault means causing personal harm. Then alcohol is an addictive drug and should be treated as one. Next, what is the treatment given for alcohol and drug abuse? There are alcohol treatment centers designed to help individuals who are addicted or who abuse alcohol in a number of ways. Typically, treatment centers require an individual to stay at the center for a specific amount of time. There are long and short-term treatment options available. Rehab or rehabilitation programs offer detox, counseling, and aftercare. So you should avoid alcohol and drug abuse. What should you do in order to avoid alcohol and drug abuse, awareness programs are to be conducted on the topic in all schools and colleges. Parents and teachers should be vigilant about behavioral changes in adolescents. An adolescent person is a person below 20 years of age, and adolescent is another word for teenager. Positive activities like social service, campus cultivation, NCC and NSS should be encouraged. These are effective measures to avoid alcohol and drug abuse. And the final slide says, thank you. How to conclude a presentation? You can ask, are there any questions? Let me recap. To conclude, many thanks for your attention. I'm immensely grateful to you. Are there any queries or clarifications, etc.? Given below are certain language functions which are used for making conclusions. The box contains common expressions used for them. Classify them under the appropriate headings. So what are the expressions used for summing up? You can say, let me recap, or you can say, to conclude. What are the expressions used for thanking your audience? Many thanks for your attention. Thank you for your attention. I'm immensely grateful to you, etc. What are the expressions you can ask for inviting questions? Are there any questions? Are there any queries or clarifications, etc.? Now let's take a look at activity 5. Pause the video for a moment and try to do activity 5. Let's see the answer. First, we will have a quick look at the major scientists of India and their contributions. Then we can discuss the prominent technological missions, especially our forays into outer space. I'd like to focus more closely on the Mars Orbiter mission, also known as Mangalyaan. I'd like to move on to the latest attempts to explore the moon, which was initiated by the Chandrayaan project. After that, let's turn to the contributions of Sri Vikram Sarabhai, who established the ISRO. Let's also take a closer look at the development of the ISRO, an institution of world repute, from its humble beginnings to the present. Finally, we will have an interactive session. Now, what are the key points while delivering your presentation? First point is about body language. Your body language is very important while delivering a presentation. Your body is speaking to your audience even before you open your mouth. So your clothes, the way you walk, your glasses, your haircut, your expression, everything matters. Your hand gestures, your smile, your expression, etc. matter very much while you are delivering a presentation. You have to take care to wear clean clothes. Your expression should be happy, it should be cheerful. The visuals should be visible. You already discussed this. Your font should be big, it should be easily readable. Don't read the presentation by looking at the slides. Never do that. Do not look at the slides and read the sentences. Try to speak spontaneously. സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുക. Maintain eye contact with the audience. This is also very, very important. You have to look at the audience. Maintain eye contact with the audience. Remain polite while dealing with difficult questions. Always be polite. Even when you are dealing with difficult questions, you have to be polite. Speed, you can speak at a normal speed or speak faster or very slowly, stop completely, even pause. This is a very good technique for gaining your audience's attention. It is best to speak at a normal speed. Rather than speak slowly or fastly, try to speak at a normal speed. However, sometimes you can speak fastly or slowly in order to get your audience's attention. ചില സമയത്ത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ attention കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി you can speak slowly or fastly. What about intonation? Intonation is the change in pitch of your voice. You may speak in a high pitch or a low tone. That is up to you. Volume. You can speak at a normal volume. It is best to speak at a normal volume. But you can also speak loudly or quietly in order to attract your audience's interest. So, during the presentation, it is best to speak at a normal volume. Everybody present should be able to hear you. So, speak at a normal volume. Do not speak too quietly. Then the audience can't hear you. However, occasionally you can speak loudly or quietly in order to attract your audience's interest. So here is an example of how to conclude your presentation. Let me recap. An interesting introduction and clear, visible slides are very important in an effective presentation. Your body language, gestures, and intonation matter too. I'm immensely grateful to you for listening to my presentation. Are there any questions? If so, please write them in the comments section. Thank you.